Online dating. Have any of you guys tried it? Have you thought about it? Have you sworn that you would never do it? Are you in a relationship way before online dating even started and you've never had experience with it? Well, it's quite the experience, I must say. And it got me thinking. I don't know if I would do it again, possibly. But I started thinking about some of the experiences that I've had with it. And last year, I connected with someone through an online dating app, and he and I didn't have much of a conversation, but he was into meeting pretty quickly. And I kind of liked that because I think prior to that, me and other people were we would message back and forth a lot, and there was a lot of texting, and you kind of start fantasizing what the person is going to be like. And then when you meet them in person, it just doesn't really fit what you thought of them, or there's no connection or things in common. And I think that unless you're actually in the presence of someone, you don't really know how you feel about them or what the feeling is between the two of you until you meet. So I agreed to meet this person. Also, he had said that he would come to my side of town. And so I had suggested a coffee shop, and I guess he got there earlier than me. So when I went into the coffee shop, I didn't see him. And then I got a text from him saying that when he arrived in the coffee shop, it was really busy and there were no seats. So he is sitting across the, I want to say street, but it was like hardly a street. It was just a little walkway where there were some other restaurants and grocery stores and things like that. So I said that I would come over there. I mean, I think he asked me to, which now that I think about it, I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, so I walked from the coffee shop across the way, and there were some cars going by. So I did have to walk a little bit, but in my mind, I didn't realize that this guy was in a restaurant where he could probably see me walking from the coffee shop to the restaurant. And even though it was just a few steps away or a few meters away, that was enough for him to make a judgment or anyway, what ended up happening was that when I got into the restaurant, the door opened to the restaurant and this guy came out, and I said, "Oh, do you want to sit here?" And he said, "No, let's just walk for a bit." So I was confused because I'm like, I came to this coffee shop. You told me not, like, it's busy. Now I'm coming across this restaurant, and now you want to go for a walk. And I specifically told him that I have a weakness in my legs, so I would prefer to sit somewhere. I had told him that before we decided to meet up. The other thing is that when I saw the guy, he didn't look what I expected. Like he wasn't I didn't find him attractive. It's not that he was unattractive, but it's just not, it wasn't appealing to me. And his behavior was definitely not appealing to me by this point, even within a few minutes. So as I said in one of my videos, people show you and tell you who they are within a few minutes. We just need to listen. So he kept walking and asking me to come with him, but I didn't understand what he needed or where he was going, and he definitely wasn't asking me what I needed or where I wanted to go. And there were only some grocery stores and like a drugstore and stuff like that around the corner in this little plaza that we were walking towards. And within a few seconds, he said, you know, because I said, "Oh, are you hungry, or what are you looking for?" And he said, "I'm not really feeling good. I think I'm gonna go." I was like, "Okay." And the compassionate part of me wanted to say, "Are you okay?" But it didn't feel like it was my place to worry about that. Anyway, I think he said something like, "I'll call you," or something like that, and he left. I was kind of exhausted emotionally, or like confused, and it took me a few moments to realize that he must have seen me walking from the coffee shop to the restaurant and didn't like what he saw. And I'm not saying necessarily me as the way I look or the person that I am, but I think it was more to do with that I was obviously walking slow and having a bit of trouble just walking, but taking my time and doing the best that I could. And I think he wanted me to walk a little more when we met up, just so he could see whether he was right about what he saw. I know I'm making a lot of assumptions, but there isn't really another explanation that I can think of. And although I was disheartened and kind of irritated, I don't want to say angry, but just feeling like I'm wasting my time, I was also relieved because I did not take the time to get to know anything about this guy. When I saw him, he wasn't my type. I wouldn't have, like, I didn't find him attractive. I would have stuck around just to be polite, to see if we had something in common, or just because we decided to meet up and he had come out to my area. But he wasn't going to give me that time or energy or anything, even for a moment. And I was grateful that the universe made it so that I wasn't wasting time on someone that couldn't handle something that is just me, or couldn't handle me. It made me sad, but it also made me really relieved. And I thought about it and I was like, I need someone stronger than that. Like someone stronger than that in his own conviction about himself. I mean, if his lifestyle doesn't match up with the way that I have to take my time, or whatever, like even just the integrity of saying, like sticking around and having a bite to eat or whatever, and then just saying like, I feel like we don't have that much in common, or this isn't the right fit for me, or whatever. But he couldn't even do that. And I get it. It's hard to let someone down or say, be honest or whatever. But I also don't want to be with someone that can't do that. I mean, that's like a huge thing for me in terms of relationships, like just saying what you feel and being able to be vulnerable to say what you really think. And me also being strong enough to feel like I can take it. And I want someone to trust that I could take it. And I did. I mean, he didn't explain anything, but I took that this person is not in the right frame of mind, or just doesn't have the strength of character even to be worthy of being in my life. Like, so it was interesting that a few days ago I went to see an apartment, and there was a couple showing me the apartment. Lovely couple. I spoke to the woman on the phone before I got there, and I really liked her already, and I was kind of hoping that I would like the place just as much, because I was like, I could totally see myself renting to someone like this. And when I met her husband, they were such a cute couple. And I had told them that I'm going to need to walk a bit slow while they're, taking me into the elevator and showing me the suite and walking through the corridors. And she said to me after a few minutes, "It's okay. I actually have, uh, I forget what it was, but she has some condition that makes her have to go slowly. And she has some, tightness or stuckness in her legs, especially. So it's harder for, like, she completely understood. The thing is, the husband, is not in the same state. Like, he, as far as I know, doesn't have those issues. And even though they were there to show me the apartment, and it wasn't what I hoped it would be, and it wasn't in an area that would be easy for me to navigate around on a day-to-day basis, we ended up talking. I asked her how she met him, and she said they met in a coffee shop. And I said, "Can I ask you if you met each other before you had these mobility issues or after?" And she said, "Oh, definitely after." And I immediately thought, what a strong man, what a strong woman, and what a strong couple. Because he was not, like, he was obviously taken by her and her character and her personality, and she's beautiful. And she deserves someone who is strong to, like, understand, who has an emotional intelligence and character that can understand the depth of, like, knowing someone deeply, instead of just like, oh, she might not be able to, like, run with me, or she has to take things slow. Like, for his own insecurities could have made him say, no, I can't be with someone like that. And to me, there is one side to it to say, like, that doesn't fit my lifestyle, and just be kind about it, which is one thing. But there's another thing. I think there's a, an aspect of weakness to that, if the person just feels like it's a reflection of them, and they're already feeling insecure about other things about themselves. They don't want to be with someone that somehow they think is going to bring them down, because they're not perfect in society or in culture or in, the way we move or talk or present ourselves. But he was so, like, to me, I felt his strength and his acknowledgement of her strength. Because whether it's the guy that was supposed to meet me at the coffee shop, or this guy who's the husband of this woman, you have to, like, they might not actually be strong enough to handle what we go through. Like, with the stuff that I'm going through, I think that there are some men, like, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, that's too much for them to handle, because it's like a burden on them, because I would make their life hard. Like, that's a part of me, my insecurity would think like that. But when I really think about it, it's like, well, actually, it's a burden on me to not be with someone that is strong enough to, like, they, if someone, I think there are some people that it would be in my situation that wouldn't even be strong enough to handle it. And I think this gentleman, who was the real gentleman, really acknowledges his wife's strength and character. And that to me makes him a strong man. And she deserves someone that is strong for her, because she's strong, obviously, herself for going through what she's going through. And she was not going to lower her standards or think she's not worthy enough to have someone that's strong. And it was such a beautiful lesson to me. And I feel like it's okay for me to say that I deserve someone that is stronger than me. I mean, it's not a competition. It's not, I don't mean like we're going to go into like, a wrestling match, or that he has to like be strong looking or strong, like strength comes in all different forms. And for me, that's a strength in character that would not walk away from a coffee shop meeting and make up some excuse just because you can't either sit there and get to know me, or very honestly just say, I don't think that this would be the right fit for me. And I think for a lot of my life, I have been okay with being like the strong one, the one that can like take things and be like the initiator or the masculine energy one. But I want someone who is stronger than me. Again, it's not a competition, because I obviously have my own strengths, and they come in different shapes and sizes and forms for either me or the person that I choose. But I think it's not a weakness for me to finally say that you should be stronger than me. And I'm okay in saying that, because it doesn't mean that I don't do my part in being a strong person or partner in the partnership. But it's about time that I don't settle for someone that shows up weaker or tries to highlight my weaknesses or can't accept them or feels insecure about them, because to me that's a weakness. That's a weakness that I shouldn't be putting up with. So yeah, there's a song by Amy Winehouse called "You Should Be Stronger Than Me," and I think that kind of, even though it's a whole different scenario, the words to that song, I was like, can I say that? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to say that today. You should be stronger than me. And I'm okay. I'm okay with admitting that that's what I want. And again, I will be the strong version of me as well, because I think up to this point, I've been settling a lot for people that don't want to be the strong versions of themselves and want to just rely on my strength, or don't even see my strength. And I think we all deserve to be acknowledged and appreciated for our strength. But also, as a female, I'm okay with admitting that I want a strong, masculine, compassionate man who can handle all of me, because there's definitely a lot to me. There's a lot to handle in me, but it's yeah, only a strong man would be able to see that beauty. So thanks for letting me say this to the universe. Who knows? Maybe I will sign up for online dating sometime soon, or I will just make sure I carry out my magnetism wherever I am, in person or online. But thanks for listening.